This week we're going to put it into practice by doing some lips, next week a nose and then eyes and then a whole face together. But you'll see from this drawing that I've done here that it's not just the lips on their own, because otherwise if you don't have all these other bits around the lips they become quite flat on the paper, so you need the contours of the face around the lips as well within your drawing. So quite an easy way to think about lips is to be thinking about them, oops, wrong way, as two cylinders. So I have here, I've drawn two cylinders and the light is coming from down on this direction, so it's lighter here, obviously it gets darker underneath here, and then it casts a shadow onto the bottom one here, underneath it gets a bit lighter, dark again under here, and then this casts a shadow onto here. So that just shows you very basically how the structure of two things that come out like that work with the light. And one way of using the shading to get a very soft shading on the skin is to have a piece of paper that you can you'll notice I've got my pencil down flat like that, and a paintbrush, and you can get some of the lead up onto the soft paintbrush and you can start to work it into the paper like that, and that will give you a very, very soft shading without any grain from the pencil. And you might think, oh, there's not much there, but actually you'll see that when I put the rubber through it, it has built up quite an area very softly on the paper. If you're doing your shading just like this, that's fine. You can do that, and you'll see that I'm doing it in a soft circular motion. And I've got my pencil on the side like that. And then you can use a tissue to rub it. You'll notice I'm folding it over, so I've got a nice area that I can push into and rub like that, and that will also give you a nice soft shaded area. Or if you wanted to get into some very small areas, you can use a cotton wool bud, which will get into some smaller areas. So there are all kinds of different ways of doing it. I'm today going to use a 2B and a 6B to draw with, and a putty rubber. So the putty rubber is also really good because when you are working with it, you can make it into all kinds of different shapes to get out various different things. So sometimes when you've done a bit of shading, let's see if I can do that here, you'll get a grain on the paper and you might just want to take out with the very tip some bits that are a bit hard, so you've got a little bit more control with it than just an ordinary rubber. So I'm making it into a very fine point, and then I can just pull out bits that I want to. And the lips are going to come across here to about that size, okay, and centre down to make an area of where the bottom would be, and then centre up for this little V, which is be the centre of there. And you want it to be relatively symmetrical. Obviously people have different shaped lips and things, but this is just a standard drawing of a pair of lips. So directly in there, in the centre of the lips, I'm going to just take that down very slightly, and then back up again to the edge. So there's a little bit of a wiggle on that internal line, like that. And then I'm going to just softly take that down and down to the other side like that, and this one out like that to there. So that gives you the basic shape of the lips. I have drawn it quite lightly, and then I'm going to start thinking about putting some tone around the edge of the face. Now, I could do that with the paintbrush, or I can do it very gently with the side of my pencil like that. So the centre of the lips, where they touch, is going to be the darkest area as they come together there. And we're having the light coming in from this direction, which means there's going to be a little bit of light on the top of the lip here. There'll be some light down here, and the top lip is going to cast a shadow onto the bottom lip, and because it's coming from over here, that shadow is going to be around this area. So I'm just going to very lightly put that in, just so you can see it. Okay, and then I'm going to start thinking, I'm still using my 2B pencil here, I'm going to thinking about the structure of the bottom lip, and I'm going to start putting in marks that will have a contour. So they will go straight like that in the middle, and then on this side, as they get towards the edge there, they're going to be more curved, and of course, depending upon the way you curve them, it will give you a different shape to the lip. And then on this side, they will curve in the other direction. So I'm going to carry on doing that and building that up for a while. Around here, on this side, there's a little V here that's going to also be just a little bit darker there. And all the marks I put in, I'm considering and remembering that there's the contour of the lips. And then, that's not finished, but that's the sort of start of that. And then underneath the lip, because the lip comes out, there will be a shadow under here. Now you can see that I've changed the direction of my pencil, or the direction I'm holding my pencil, so it's flat again. And I'm just beginning to shade out here into the skin on the face around the specks of the lead that you don't want. You can just use a tip like I'm doing and just pull them out. You probably might not be able to see that on the camera, but I'm sure if you have a go then you'll notice it. Sometimes you just get little dark bits. Okay, so I'm now going to carry on and do the top lip. Now the light, as I said before, is coming from here, so this bit here will be coming out and that will be light. So underneath there, it's going to be slightly darker as it goes up to the top here and down to the bottom there. Okay, and okay, and then I'm going to need to do this bit here, a little shape in here. It's almost like a little teardrop shape. Remember the light's coming from over here, so that the mouth comes up and then down, and so here's going to be making a shadow down into this bit, and then there will also be the tiniest bit of shadow coming down on there. I'm going to just blend that in, and then also down on this side as well. Sometimes it's all about putting stuff in and then taking it out, and then putting it in and taking it out. But the area, as I said before, around the mouth is very important to get the feel of what's happening. In the mouth. So there we have a mouth, and hopefully you'll be able to do something like that.